Action roll.
Mic
it's
check,
rolling?
1 2 1 2 1
Yeah,
2.
I'll give you a quick clap,
Okay.
and then
What
you
is
guys are
this?
good to go.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Excuse Me Brother podcast show.
Your excuse.
You starting already?
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So,
I'm tired.
my far right, we have brother Tay, myself, brother
DJ Tay.
DJ Tay, and myself, brother Jay. And in the middle, we have a very, very special guest. I reached out to this brother maybe a month ago, try to set this up. We have one of my MTA co-workers, my union brother, Mr. Tramell Thompson, the leader of Progressive Action Group. Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Thanks for having me, man. I feel honored to be on a coworker show for the first time.
Man. Yeah, bro.
I'm getting interviewed for the first time by a coworker.
Yeah,
I like
you doing the interviews, right?
it. Yeah, I'm normally doing the interviews. A lot of talking.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
It's fun. Getting our own voices, having our own platforms to do things like this. Well,
For
first,
the people.
say that.
For the culture.
Yeah, for the culture. All right. So the way this works, obviously the show's called Excuse Me Brother. So we always usually bounce off of a topic, and if we ever wanted to challenge each other or say something off the wall or something that catches the other's attention, we usually just stop each other by going,
Excuse me, brother.
"Yeah, there you go." See, so
It's mostly just him getting upset at stuff that I don't know.
he did. Okay, I have to do this again. He doesn't know who Sanaa Lathan is, or
Doesn't
he didn't
matter.
know.
It doesn't matter.
How old are you?
I'm like 27 now.
You don't know who Sanaa Lathan?
No. You have to understand, I also don't know a lot of actresses and actors. So, like, him just saying, like, there's a lot of people who I really don't know.
That's understandable because my friends get at me for I don't watch movies.
Yeah, I don't
So
watch
they-
movies. I don't watch
They
TV
be like,
shows.
"You remember this movie?" And then they say, "Oh, I apologize. You don't watch movies."
At least they apologize. I just get insulted.
Yeah, because you should know better.
Why?
Because you should know better.
I don't watch movies. Like, it's just the way it is.
Fine. All right. So, how long you been with the TA, man?
Since 2013.
2013. Oh, I thought you had more time than that.
No, I'm new to this.
Oh, you're new to the game too. What do you do?
Conductor.
Oh, you're a conductor.
Yeah.
Why did I think you were a train operator?
Nah.
You like to assume things, don't you?
I listen. I've been watching his videos for a while, so I kind of get lost in the sauce and forget what we actually do sometimes. Because for me, I'm track.
Got you.
So y'all be blowing out your horns at us, and
Got
you
you.
gotta get out the way.
Yeah.
I mean, for your safety.
Huh?
It's for your safety.
It is for our safety. It is. But either way, were you born and raised in New York?
Brooklyn, New York, man. I got it tattooed on the side of my head.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. I've never seen it. Never seen that before. Never seen someone with a Brooklyn tattoo.
Yeah. Ain't not going nowhere. Brooklyn, born in Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I got family in Bed-Stuy. You still live in Brooklyn to this day?
Yes.
Interesting. No, I some of these things I never knew. I never knew any of this. So,
That's how you know that's how you can really tell you're really learning. I love interviews.
Well, that's
like
why I'm here, right? That's why I'm here, for you to get to know what's going on.
so when you started with the TA, you were excited to get the job, right?
Very excited. I thought that I was a part of a strong union. I thought, MTA, ATM, I'm going to be making money. And I was like, yes, I finally got a career that, I could be proud of. But when I got here, my first 3 months on the job, I was like, this can't be life.
What happened?
So what? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tay.
So
That's
like
fine.
while we going through something called school call, that's like where conductors is, we start our training. And they was teaching us off of fear. Don't do this or you're going to get fired. Don't do that or you're going to get fired. And that was like my first signal, like, this is how you guys are, teaching people to be good employees. And that was the first signal, like I said, that say, all right, we got to see what's going to go on here.
Just something that's changed. You don't really like to run things off fear, especially if like, oh, you do this, it's a firing. And I can't. How many like things were on that list? Like how often
Everything.
did they reach?
Everything was, you do this, you're going to be at 2 Broadway, you're going to get fired. Especially, when you come in, you're on probation, right? So everything was that. You do this wrong, you're going to get fired.
Oh, just real quick. 2 Broadway is the MTA headquarters where we have labor relations, which is basically like discipline, the disciplinary portion of the thing. If you get threatened with getting sent to 2 Broadway, it's
kind of a rap.
Yeah, not necessarily a
Or
rap,
just
but
more like it's more like or my former job, where it's like you're just getting written up or a memo where you gotta go, like it's like corporate and Target tech.
yeah, it's corporate.
We call it plantation justice. So we call it.
That's what we call it. So help me understand the dynamic between conductors and train operators, because I always thought that the train operator had the bigger responsibility. But even though I know y'all work as a team, I always felt like they taught the train operators differently than they taught the conductors, even though it's kind of the same in the same realm of.
I wouldn't say it's the same for
Okay.
the simple fact that train operators, they go through 10 months of training. Conductors is a little bit over 2 months. And the train operator is basically the person, because a lot of people don't know. They call the train operator the conductor. The train operator controls the movement of the train. The conductor controls basically the doors, and technically the conductor is in charge of the train. Right? The train don't move unless the doors close and we pass something called indication.
Right.
Turning our MDC key to run. Right? So, but we got two totally different jobs, even though we're on the same train. Like, I can't be a train operator because I can't stay awake.
Okay.
You know, I'm not that alert.
Okay,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? I'm alert, but for a train operator, it's like, if you look at train operators, when they come into the station, they look like zombies. Like,
No, they do.
Literally look
They
at them.
do.
They like
Okay.
this.
Yeah, I know those are the ones that just don't move and their eyes are just a little wide open.
That's why I can't watch movies. I don't go to the movie theater because the darkness, it like puts me in a trance and I can't deal with it, man. Just let me be a conductor. I can stand up, I can move around, I can interact with the passengers in between stations if they need help, you know. So and I like talking to people. So I like conductor better.
You like making the announcements and stuff too, or even with the newer trains, I know they do the announcements for y'all, but they still
kind of
like,
pre-recorded.
We still have to make
Yeah.
certain announcements, and you know, some people cut off their announcements, their automatic announcements, and make their own. I'm not one of those people though, but you know, yeah, you know, conductors is like more of customer service, and you know, I like that. I like I love my job. I like interacting with the people in New York City.
I know. So that was going to lead me into this. You love the job. You actually love what you do.
Yes,
It's just that the TA makes it difficult for you to do that sometimes. Or is that what you feel?
without a doubt.
Okay.
You know, the politics involved, and you know, like I said, the discipline, the isms. MTA is the home of the isms, the racism, the cronyism, the nepotism. All the isms they are the home of. So people think that, you know, MTA is a great job, but there's so many things that's happening around you that the MTA spends so much money hiring you, and they spend the next 25 years attempting to fire you.
That's a fact.
That's literally what it is.
That's a fact. I always felt like because it's a state agency, it's a government agency. You know, the state owns the MTA, but the city runs it, and you know they're always going back and forth between each other. You know, who should foot the bill for this, who should spend the money on that, who's in control of this, and who's in control of that, and who winds up losing out is us as the employees. So I always felt like, because you know state agencies or any kind of government agency, they usually just run off of hierarchies and, like you said, the cronyism and the nepotism, and the employees are the ones who usually like take the brunt of all of that. How do you think that we should, or how do you think the employees or the workforce can combat that kind of stuck in between mode where we can feel like, you know, this is my job isn't crushing me. You know what I mean?
Well, what I suggest is that people should get involved with the politics of their union, politics of their job. Politics turn people away, and it's simply because they don't understand it. And I get it, right? I get it, but we spend 8+ hours here. The politics of our job control our wages, our health care, our work rules, control every aspect of our job. It controls what we do outside of the job. If you don't get the proper wages, you can't take care of your family. You probably can't go on that vacation. Probably can't buy that car you want. Probably can't afford to live in the city in which you work. Can't buy that home, right? So what I tell people is that you have to get involved. You know what I'm saying? You spend more time here than home, right? Pay attention to everything that's going on. And I know it's hard, but that's why I created my show, Progressive Action. I actually do the work. All you got to do is just watch the show and memorize. And if you have any questions, I'm going to just send you whatever documents I was reading from. If it's not on the screen, you can't read it. I try to find a way to make for the members to get the information as easy as possible. Lay it out and just learn it and learn how to defend yourself. And, you know, people always say that what's that term? I'm protecting the bag, or how to protect
I'm getting to the bag.
getting to the bag. You can't get to the bag if you can't protect your bag.
Cool. So about the show, since you mentioned you send out, for those who send you out questions, you send out the documents. How many comments? How many questions do you actually get asked during the show or after the show? Because I know it has to be a lot.
It's non-stop thing.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly don't give out my phone number or my cards because people will call me
Non-stop.
with stuff. I have a thing where if you can't write down what you want me to address for you, you probably shouldn't tell it to me. Right? Because if it's take that long for you to get to the point that it's too much for you to write, you probably shouldn't even, tell me what it is. Because a lot of it be, well, just pick up your contract and read it. Like, I try a new way of teaching. I don't try to make it that easy. Like, I tell them what to do. I send them where to get the information from. You read it and you let me know what you think. If you need help after that, then I'm going to help you.
It's like objective learning.
What?
It's like objective learning. That's how I used to tutor people in my college.
It's like, so you try to teach them how to get to the information, and
you don't really. So it's kind of like I said, you don't really tell them everything. You're like, you'd be like, well, I personally got this from this page. You should read it and read around it, see what you get, and then like if you think that's correct, or if I think it's correct, we can talk more about it.
Do you think has that method been effective for you when it comes to dealing with other people?
Yeah, because I don't see everything. So sometimes someone will point something out that I didn't see, and I'll be like, oh, what? You know what? You're right. And it adds on to both of our points, right? But I don't know everything. I never claimed to know everything. This is a learning curve for me. Like I said, I only got 8 years. I started Progressive Action 2015 officially, right? I made an impact almost immediately as far as what I was doing. And the nights I spent, like, I'm talking about getting 3 hours of sleep a night, reading the contract, talking to a whole bunch of people trying to learn. I didn't come to this business knowing anything. I knew nothing. When I came here, I thought Roger Toussaint was still the
union
president.
Wow.
I didn't know he was gone.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I'm coming to a strong union. I remember this man took us on strike. That's all I remember. I didn't know anything. I came here with no knowledge and picked up the contract, asked questions, created a podcast first, which I invited guests, union guests who ran in the past, and I learned from them. Then I started creating my own interpretations of, like, how they get that from that? Nah, that's not right. That's not how you do that. And that's how I started angling my message.
So what is the message of Progressive Action? You say you started in 2015. Like, what was the inception of the idea? Like, why did you start it?
Like I said, I wanted to get the information out to someone, to the people easier, whether it was a podcast, a show, or whatever. I was sitting in my college class. A lot of people didn't know this, that I was working full-time and going to college full-time. So I'm sitting in my college class and I'm talking to my cousin. I'm like, yo, we got to start I wanted to start a Tier 6 movement first.
We need one. Good Lord, we need one.
No, but listen.
You might have to explain that one later.
Tier 6, it's our pension.
Okay.
Basically, it's a pension tier. It's a new pension tier where it's horrible.
Like,
if it stays the same right now, the earliest person who went into Tier 6 could retire at like 2037. You only retire with $40,000. Well, you can't live in New York with $40,000 right now.
No.
Well, you gonna do that in 2037, right? So I was like, I'm gonna start a Tier 6 group. Then I just changed my mind instantly because I said it's not going to be inclusive for everybody. I need something to get everybody involved, right? I just came to me, Progressive Action. My cousin was like, "Yo, where you get that from?" I said, "I don't know. It just came to me." I
Sounds nice.
That same hour, I was on the trademark website, getting the name. You know what I'm saying? And it was history from there.
Now it's funny because when I first heard of Progressive Action, I thought it was going to be like a different union, so to speak, until I realized, wait a second, the TA only does contract negotiations with Local 100. Local 100 is obviously our union. So when I heard of it, I was like, the hell is this? What is Progressive Action?
Well, I was pitching it first as a union within a union.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So that's I'm actually doing a book called A Union Within a Union. So we were supposed to be the watchdogs of the actual union.
Now, don't mind me. Excuse me, brother. But see now the thing that you said, watchdogs for the union, shouldn't shouldn't the members themselves, like me and you, shouldn't we be holding the union accountable at every turn? Anyway, should there necessarily be a watchdog for the union? You know what I mean?
In a perfect world, right? A lot of people come to work, do they 8 and go home.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, you're putting a lot, like, that's like saying, like, the community should be accountable for things that happen. Like, remember that thing, like, it takes community to raise a child?
The village, yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. But in a perfect world, everyone holds accountable. That's why elected officials are that's the perfect world.
Technically, you shouldn't have to have a watchdog for your union.
Yeah.
They should have your best interests.
Right. I agree. I've always felt like, especially with this last contract and with everything that's been going on the past, since I got hired, really, I've always felt like the union really doesn't have the best interest of the members.
How much time you got?
I only got like 4 years,
Okay.
4.5 years, man.
All right.
And from what I've seen, because I remember when the strike occurred, and my mother's, she's TA, my stepfather got arrested, so he was TA also. They were, no, they were in the they were there when the strike occurred. So it was like, okay, they understand what's going on. But now we get to, 16 years later, it's almost 20 years later, and it's just like, okay, like, what are y'all fighting for now? Sometimes it seems like they're just in bed with management.
I mean, it don't seem it. They are.
Now, what makes you say that?
I mean, just look at, I don't even know where to start at with that, man. Like, you could point to almost anywhere and see that they in bed with management. Let's look at the pandemic. We was fighting to get masks when this thing first happened. We didn't get masks until I revealed that we had a pandemic plan. Right? And the MTA had a pandemic plan in place this whole time. The union didn't force them on it because the union is in the business of helping them keep service moving. It's service over safety.
That was my main issue, is that you had to come up with it. That should be on the union. That should be one of the first things a union does.
What? Come up with a pandemic plan?
If there's a pandemic happening, and it's especially when you are an essential worker, because that's an argument I had with my former job. When they tried to get us to work all the time, it was like, we need a pandemic plan because we're just not doing anything. And you want service to keep continuing, but we're in danger.
We had a plan.
And it was a few years old at that. It came out in like 2012?
2012. We had a plan, and they didn't implement it because the union is in the same business as management, the same business as the governor. We here to provide service. We understand that, but it's not service over safety. It's safety over service.
Right.
So they didn't want to implement that. They was telling us we need to come to work. Meanwhile, they were sheltering at home.
Mm-hmm. A lot of guys, those same people at 2 Broadway were working from home, and
a union.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that too.
And we was out there, and we lost more. We had more workers die than any other city agency probably in America.
Mm-hmm. More than FDNY,
Way more.
NYPD, EMS.
That's not a statistic you're going to see anyway. I guarantee you that, because this is the first I'm hearing about it.
I never told you this?
No. When are we going to talk about it?
You got a point. I mean,
like, I don't want to bring up work stress when I see you.
I understand, but it was
What
like,
brother you think I am? You think I leave my problems to take on yours? I think not.
But no, because I remember when everything first started, and I was just like, why does it seem like we're just flying by the seat of our pants? There's really no structure. There's no organization. There's no plan. There's no backup. There's no alternatives. So it was just, well, you work a week, you're off a week. You're on a week, off a week. And then they stretch it out to 2 weeks on, 1 week off.
We never got that.
Y'all never got that?
We never got that.
Oh, man.
We never got that. Subways never got that.
Wow. That's wild, because y'all department is way bigger than ours. My department's only like 2,500 deep. Y'all are like, what, 10,000 deep or something like that? Maybe?
A little bit under 8,000.
See, even then, y'all's more than twice as us, and we still had a rotation going on. The fact that y'all didn't even have it, even though y'all weren't running service overnight for what, 5 hours a night or something like that. Mm-hmm. I think it just shows the gross negligence. It's negligence.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
That's wild. So when you started Progressive Action, right, the ultimate goal was to, like you said, raise the awareness for, what exactly?
The contract, we wanted to educate, right?
Okay.
Educate and At that time when I started Progressive Action, I already felt that the union wasn't doing enough. So I wanted to do the education part and hold the union accountable for what they weren't doing. Right? So if they say, oh, yeah, we got you a raise that's above inflation, but the inflation that you guys is talking about is the past inflation and not the future inflation, because our raises is moving ahead. You're not talking about the inflation moving ahead. You're talking about the inflation we already encountered, right? And they still doing that today. I did a show on that last week. This is the trickery that they do. So what do you mean? And then the numbers that they give don't even be official, right? So they play these games because they know the members are not going to check. And if they do check, the members ain't got a voice or is not going to confront them on their lies. I'm going to do that, right? And let's think about it. The union first of all, the union is the members. The union administration is the union administration, right? A lot of people say, oh, the union. No, the union is us. The union administration is them. If they was on the up and up like they say they are, why they never came on my platform? Because if you had a show and you talking bad about me and saying that I'm lying, I'm sitting in this seat right here and we go discuss it. We go back and forth.
Right.
It's an open invitation.
They had this open invitation since 2015. Not one of them came on the show yet.
None of them's even called you?
Not even called.
Because I've seen you've actually name dropped some people, and I'm just like, and it's just not gonna say anything about it. Like not that you're not slandering nobody, but it's just like you calling them out, and nobody said anything.
They don't say anything, and I see them in person too, and I'm like, yo, when you gonna come on the show? Because come shut me down. I'm asking you, please. You coming on the biggest transit platform you guys ever seen. Come on the show, come shut me down, embarrass me. Take away all my guests.
Tell me what I'm saying is wrong.
Yeah.
That should be their purpose. If you're doing they're being more reactive than proactive, as I like to call it.
I'm glad that you said that, but continue. I'm going to explain to you why in a second.
Of course you are. But it's like you're saying all the things they should be doing, and they're like, oh, we do that. Well, come prove it. If all their numbers say you're not, tell me.
See, for a while, for the MTA and the union, when I first started, they looked at me as like, oh, we seen him before. He gonna come and go.
Yeah.
The mistake they made is that they didn't squash me when I was on the come up. Now it's like, he's big now. What are we going to do?
They thought I was a bug. Turned out I was bigger.
Yeah.
I'm a full infestation.
Where'd you get that from?
I've been called that a lot.
Okay. All right. I respect it.
Let's not pretend like when I first started working, when we first met working, you didn't think I was going to make it past the month.
No, I didn't think that at all. I just didn't like you. All right. I didn't like your work ethic. So, okay, quick backstory. We've told this story before, but you obviously you know you're new to this. Me and him used to work together at Target, and I trained him. And in the beginning, I did not like him at all. He was slow, he was quiet, and he followed me everywhere. I'm like, all right, if this is gonna have to work, if this is gonna work, you're gonna have to get involved. You have to say something, whatever. Eventually, once he got the hang of things, he blossomed actually, and he almost surpassed me. I was beating you.
Left.
Okay?
I was beating you.
I left.
I was beating you in the back room.
I left the company and came to the TA and
no. Because they used to tell me, they used to send me to go do everyone else's work while they did nothing.
So you gonna lie in front of our guest?
Or are you acting like 1 o'clock drops didn't happen, and they're like, Tayshawn, go do all the 1 o'clock drops, push it, and I wasn't done at 1:30, and you were all sitting on the computer packing things because you knew I could do it quickly.
Yeah, it's kind of true. It's kind of true. So
I learned at my own pace, and when I learn it, you ain't stopping me ever again.
That's fine. That's do you, brother. Do you. Now the reason why I said I'm glad that you said it, because when you said they seem reactive rather than proactive, because that's kind of like a motto at the MTA. He can attest. Our rules, the rules that are in the MTA, we have a thick blue book.
It's okay. It's the same. It's probably the same motto that HRA, human resources, because that's what my former job used to be. Public assistance, food stamps and stuff. I used to work alongside them. Hated them. But their motto was like, we should always be proactive, not reactive. And I was like, that's the biggest lie you ever told me in my life.
Because you can attest, how many of our rules are written in blood? You know what I mean? There's always something that happens. Then they want to implement something into preventing it again. It was like, well, you could have prevented this. Anybody could have foreseen this happening. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I saw this happening I saw this happening 4 meetings ago.
So, you know, that's just how I feel like, you know, if we were more proactive, then we could avoid a lot of the, not even just like the safety issues, but like you're saying with the politics and everything. Like if the members, I feel like, you know, when we actually get hired, the union comes and talks to us. But I feel like where they lacked in that area was fully explaining to them how, like, first of all, like how to read your check, number one, because a lot of guys come into TA and don't know how to read their wages. Or
How they go explain something to you they don't understand?
see, that's the problem. So when it comes to the union, right? You always said the union was us. We are the union. You and me, we're the union. How do we how do we rectify that scenario without necessarily not necessarily just starting another platform, but even within the own realms? Like you pull somebody to the side, like, yo, this is how you do this, or this is what this means in the contract. Because I had to go and find the contract myself. They never sent it out. They never told us what anything meant or any of that. I had to go and look for it, like you said before. So how do we actually get to the point where we can get past that point where we have to go and figure it out for ourselves, where they come to the situation with us?
Well, you got to think of the mentality that they have, right? So, why would they teach you how to get rid of them? Why would they teach you to be smarter than them? They want you to remain complacent. They want you to remain dumb, right? So you won't challenge them for their position, because you speak to these union reps. They say, this is the hard job. Trust me, you don't want it. All that is to deter you from actually going to get it, right? And if you actually know your job and learn your job, you don't need your rep to represent you. You'll probably end up knowing more than him. You'll probably end up helping your coworker that's in trouble. And then that's how you start building a name for yourself, right? They don't, even when they had the shop steward classes wasn't building shop stewards to go out in the field and be effective. They was building people, street team people. That's what I call it. You're a shop steward, we gonna give you some flyers so you can hand out for our next rally. They don't even utilize their shop stewards in our union.
They don't.
Right? But they are not going to educate you, right? Because when you educate someone, you empower them. Why are they going to give you a contract? Or they'll give you a contract and say, hey, read it. They ain't going to say, hey, did you read this section? You know about this section? Yo, check out this section. Let's discuss it later. I do that with people, right? Yo, read that and get back to me and let me know what you think. How you interpret this? I already know how I interpret it. I already know what it is. But sometimes I give people, let me know what you think. You know what I mean? That's how I pick who to have around me and who not to have around me. Because I don't want to be the smartest person in the room.
Neither do I. I agree.
I don't want to be. I want someone and I'm not the smartest person in progressive action. I have intelligent people around me, right? And I handpick those people, and they've been by my side the whole entire time, right? And I love for them to be the smartest, because they do the work that I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to read through all this law, and they'll read through it and send it to me and say, hey, Tramell, read this. Then we have a conversation. Like me and my boy Ben Valdez, we've been challenging almost everything with the MTA, from lunches to safety. And we've been winning. We've been winning in PESH. We've been winning with the DOL, right? So the work, and then we sit back and we say, why the union isn't doing this? Me, Ben, Nuke McLaurin, we go to the DOL. We doing these different things. We bouncing stuff off of each other. Ben's wife hates me. She hates me, right? But we doing the work, right? We doing the work. Matter of fact, all my friends' wives hate me, because once they get in this, it's like, yo, come on, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta do that. But the work got to be done.
Yeah, and somebody has to do it.
Someone always has to do it. You just have to find someone that's going to be willing to do it.
The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Trust me. On
and
that.
That sounds like a mom saying.
We all put in.
Bible verse.
We all put in a lot of work. Like I don't sleep, man. Sometimes I don't sleep. Like I go to bed, 3 hours of sleep, and wake back up because things be on my mind. I got to try to figure out, some things or whatever the case is. And I've done been through it all with the TA. I mean, they done
No, trust me, I understand that feeling.
they done put false charges on me. They done said I committed comp fraud. They done said I was bringing guns to work. They done tried everything with me, man.
Okay, so can you go?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, brother.
Excuse me, brother. What?
Yeah, it's real, man. It's real. This
we gotta
this
go
is-
through the charges. Hold on.
Yeah, I was about to say, can you explain some of the frustrations that you've had with the TA? Like some of do you feel like some of these charges are warranted or some of them are fraudulent?
absolutely not. Like,
Oh.
you know how embarrassing it is to go to your work location and detectives is there waiting for you, saying that, trying to say that I was bringing guns to work. Like, I had to ask them, who am I afraid of on this property to bring a gun to work?
Right.
You know, during COVID, they said I was committing comp fraud. They didn't pay me for 11 months, right?
Excuse me, brother. Wait. Time out. 11 months?
I didn't get paid for 11 months. They said I was committing comp fraud. They was trying to say I was committing basically a felony, right? But this is the story with black men. They always try to put some type of crime on us, and
They're always trying to get something on you,
yeah, you know,
or try to plant something on you.
And I'm quite sure they're not done yet, right? But I mean, they can mess with me this time around because my resources is beautiful. I'm ready for war this time, man. They said don't start a war unless you got your money right. The resources is right this time around. But yeah, they done tried it, man, and it's crazy, like that the lengths they would go to try to, like, only thing I want is for us to be treated fairly, right? For us to be respected. I want morale to be up. I want us to have a equal opportunity, a fair shot. Treat us with dignity and respect. Don't treat us as like a pass number. I know you hear that all the time, right?
Or be a C number.
Yeah, don't treat us like that. We are humans. We have families, right? That's all I want. I'm not asking to come to work and don't work. I'm saying, let me come to work and treat me as a human being, right? You would, it just boggles my mind. You speak out against that, you become a target. It's as simple as that. You become a target. You know, right now I got a friend, he's going through discipline right now, where they said that he created some type of adverse criticism for the TA. I said, you know, that's funny. Why they never did that with me? I've been in the media.
That sounds like a fault because that's a fake charge.
I'm on my show all the time, trashing them.
That's
I will go to, I know where these managers live at. I will be at their home protest. That's my new thing. I'll be at their home protesting.
you ain't sleeping. If I can't sleep, you can't
It ain't
sleep.
about that.
Nah.
The same way you embarrass us at work,
I'm embarrassed.
Yes, you are.
in front of your peers and your neighbors, right? That's how it have to be, right? But this place is weird, man. There's no rhyme or reason for none of the stuff that they do sometimes.
You know, remember at Target when, like, there were levels to discipline at Target. Like, your first offense, we got a coaching, they call it. It's just basically a warning saying, hey, we noticed this, or you've been late a couple times, and, you know, next level.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Look, you're gonna explain this. I'm not gonna lie. I never paid attention to the discipline because I didn't care.
I understand that part because, like I said,
none against you because I'm pretty sure I had some coaching and some disciplinary actions that I had to go to when you left because I got a lot worse after you left. I ain't gonna lie.
No, but hear me out. So, like, you saw how
I'm sure, yeah, they wanted to certain things. They wanted to make sure they seemed like, how do I describe it? Like when you're starting to act the way they don't want you to act, like a pet. Like if you're not acting like the pet they want you to be, they're trying to single you out, make you seem like you're the odd one, and like you don't want to be that one.
But even then, like there were levels to it. They started with the coaching, then it was the write-up or the corrective action or whatever, right? At TA, it's the complete opposite.
They go for 30 in the final.
They might even try to fire you.
No,
first offense.
they will. It, depending on what it is.
Just off the rip. There's no three strikes like Target.
No,
it's you're on strike too when you start.
It's called progressive discipline. There's no progressive discipline at all.
It's
like something that you should get.
Hold on. Excuse me, brother.
Yeah.
Hold on. How you gonna create progressive discipline, but you don't want to do progressive action?
They don't.
What is this?
They don't do progressive discipline.
nope.
right? They don't do progressive discipline. So you make a mistake. Yo, this just thinking about it just bugs me out because they play a weird game.
It's a weird
No,
game.
listen to this. So you would think that if you make a simple mistake that you'll get a warning, a reinstruction, maybe a day, right? Maybe a day. They start out with 25 days, knowing that you should have only got 1 day, right? So you'd be like, oh my God, I got 25 days. Then they come back and say, we give you 10. So you think about, damn, they offered me 25. Now they offer me 10. I'm going to hop on that 10. You got overcharged.
You still get overcharged.
Picture you hop in the turnstile and they starting out with 10
25
years.
to life.
Yeah, let's say 25 to life, right?
That's what that was.
25 to life. You go, oh my God, I could go to jail for life if I go to trial or arbitration, whatever you want to call it.
My brain is confused.
And then you'd be like, you know what? I better take this 5 years when I should have only got a summons.
Or $100 fine at the most.
I should have got a summons, right?
That's pretty much what they did.
This needs to be investigated. They overcharge you to have you settle for something that you shouldn't have gotten in the first place, right? This whole MTA system is corrupt. And then what's crazy is that I pointed this out numerous times. You have Metro North, Long Island Railroad, New York City Transit, right?
God, I know where he's going.
Who get the most egregious discipline? New York City Transit.
Okay.
Why does New York City Transit get the most egregious discipline? We 49% black alone. We 78% minorities. Forget the minorities because they look at everything as black and white, right?
Oh, yeah.
49% black. Long Island Railroad, Metro North, 62 and 63% Caucasian, right? First of all, how you even get those numbers, right? Because it's a gatekeeping system. It's a resume to get the job. There's no civil service.
Nope.
Only in New York City Transit.
It's applied for and interview just like a regular.
Yeah. So they could. There's no real aptitude test or like a civil service test or whatever the case is. So they keep those numbers at that level purposely.
That's a real gatekeeping.
Yeah, it's gatekeeping. That needs to be investigated. Why is those numbers the same? And why aren't they reflective in New York City Transit?
We know why.
Yeah, we know why.
We know why.
We know why.
So that's a perfect segue into what we actually did an episode about this, racism in the workplace.
One of my favorite title names.
The title was "We Don't Promote Brothers Like You." So do you feel that the MTA or any large scale organization such as the MTA purposely doesn't hire minorities in certain positions? Because we even think about what's going on in the world right now, and all three of us can attest to this. What's going on with the NFL with Brian Flores and his lawsuit? We knew that there was a disparity between hiring black coaches in the NFL versus white coaches. Why did it take a lawsuit to finally get the ball moving? You know what I'm saying? So do you believe that the TAA, like I said, purposely does not hire, men like us into certain positions? And B, how do we prove it? And two, what can we do to rectify that?
All right, so excellent question, right? So the MTA been around since 1968. There has never been a black MTA chairman ever since 50 plus years, right? You trying to tell me that there's not one black qualified?
I was going to say qualified man that could be a chairman.
That could do the job. Not one, right? There has not been one woman either. But we all know we live in America. Women and black men are two of the most oppressed people in the United States, right? Never has been. But you have to be, now you look at all the top heavy spots. Forget about the vice presidents, all the top heavy spots. White men and women, right? Mostly white men and women. But you have to be careful when playing the race game on that level because you have black people in white face.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Right? He's black. Look, he's black.
Yeah,
but he's playing a game, right? So you have to be careful in that, right? So 2 weeks ago, I had a lady on my show, and the same exact topic. She wasn't qualified. This is bugged out too. She wasn't qualified to get the promotion, but she's more qualified, and her degree is in the degree in the field that she's in communication. The person who told her she's not qualified has an art degree. She should be working in the museum, right? But they telling this black woman that she's not qualified to be in this job. Not only that she's not qualified, when this lady hired the white managers, she gave white managers the promotion who's also not that qualified. This black woman had to help train them. Right? So,
why are you looking like that? Like I didn't I told you I wasn't doing that at Target.
But okay, hold on real quick. I didn't train you to surpass me. We were on the same level, first and foremost.
I meant after you left.
Okay, continue. My bad.
So you have like, this is some of the stuff that goes on. Now this woman didn't have no write-ups.
She had no Dan history.
No Dan history. I posted that on the show.
No Dan history.
No, that's discipline.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I figured that one out.
Yeah. Sick time is good. Everything is good, right? Now, what was beautiful on what she did was she didn't wait till she got fired, wait till she got disciplined. She came to me while she's an outstanding employee. Because what they like to do to us black people when we complain, and they did it to me on the news when they was attacking me with the workers' comp. After I beat them in court, they called me a disgruntled employee, right? So same thing with Brian Flores. Brian Flores did it smart. He didn't wait until he had the other coaching jobs, and he knew the odds of him hiring him was slim, right?
Oh, he did it while he most likely he was going to get hired.
Yeah, exactly, because you can't call him disgruntled. He still had those opportunities. Actually, his lawsuit got Lovie Smith hired.
Yep, that's a fact.
Let's not be fooled. He got Lovie Smith hired.
Even that, because after that lawsuit, there was a report that the Steelers most likely were going to fire their head coach, the only black, next year.
Oh, really?
Because they wanted to. They were planning on restarting the whole thing with Big Ben retiring.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. He been there for a long time.
Yeah, but like at that point, there'd have been, and there was no chances of next to Brian Flores, there was no chances of another black head coach getting hired.
Yeah.
Because they weren't even hiring the next qualified black head coach, which was the one for the Chiefs.
Yeah, but
Bieniemy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That man's been supposed to be getting interviews since 2017.
But is the to sum it up, is the MTA a racist company? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Do they have black faces at the top? Absolutely. But those black faces subscribe to the culture of what those white faces is doing.
So you're saying that it's not necessarily the people in the MTA, but the culture and the system that the MTA has employed and structurized over the course of its history is one that is deep rooted in racism and classism and sexism. And
without a doubt.
I'd agree. I feel like
without a doubt.
I feel like just about every large scale organization in America is like that. The government itself, all these multi-billion-dollar corporations, they'll put black people in those positions, but they can't never really change the way that they do the business. You know what I mean? Like, there was a company in mind that I just had it in mind.
I'm pretty sure you can just name one.
Any one of them, really.
Sure you can just name one.
But they all pretty much operate the same way, in my opinion. They'll hire black people, and then they'll put off, like, especially now with this whole, everybody's woke now. So it's like they'll try to do something performative to make it seem like, hey, we're not racist. Look, we sold these things on Black History Month. We're not racist, but then
it's symbolic. They give us these symbolic gestures.
Oh, I know.
And think that we did something for
same thing
for black people.
If we're not even on the same thing as, like, to go on nothing. Same thing for Chick-fil-A, who's known for their hatred towards the LGBT community, and then on Pride Month they'll be like, we support all our gay customers, and they went with this, and I was like, didn't you just give money to a camp that's supposed to turn people not gay?
Yeah, but everybody's like
But I'm going to tell you this. Since I started complaining about the racism in the MTA and management, they smart, but they all play from the same playbook. What do? They hire a black woman. They knock out a couple of boxes. They black, and they woman. They're female, right?
Make sure
who get left behind? The black man. Right? Now, what I did, because I said since the MTA is hiring people who's not qualified for positions, I'm going to put in for a position
that I'm not qualified for, or that
No. I'm qualified for. I'm gonna put in for a diversity officer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got me a college degree, right? Y'all was hiring chiefs and and all these supervisors with. I mean, one of these women, and it's not even that they not qualified. In this particular case that I was explaining before, these people was writing racist stuff on the internet.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's one of those. Got it.
They was writing racist stuff on the internet, and it went like nobody didn't care. Like this, when I put it on my show, I can't believe. And then the manager go right, oh, I apologize if I've offended you. But it was,
I want to apologize for my lack of judgment in the time of that.
That's what she said, something like that,
Yep.
right?
Wow.
And she said that's sarcasm. She said it was sarcasm.
Yeah.
Why would you be sarcastic?
I did not mean
during
for
the George Floyd thing. Like I don't.
Sarcasm. I was being sarcastic. I apologize for my manner, which I thought was a joke at the time. All the others. This
is their playbook, right? Now, the chief lady who's doing the discriminating is in control of the ship. One white lady was fired because she retweeted with something with the N-word in it. Like she supported that. I heard they got rid of her. But this other lady, she ain't get rid of. Like, why are you hiring all these people that feel a way towards black people? Why did they have to go through the EEO? Why didn't you reprimand them yourself or discipline them yourself or fire them yourself? Because you accepted it.
I know. You knew it was there.
Yeah, you accepted it.
Yeah, it's not like y'all don't like when they hire these people, when they interview them, they always have somebody in the background doing background checks on these people.
Yeah,
it's looking at their social media, looking at their whatever it is that they do, checking their history or whatever.
Any job you go for, that's they're like, oh, we looked at your Facebook, we looked at this. This is not the type of behavior we want to share with this.
Yeah, they not gonna do that if you my friend or you came from a connect. Because we got to understand, like we got to be real about this. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right,
what you know decide how far you go, right? But who you know will get you in the door. So all of this is the who you know. Look, I got an easy job for you. You could just be here. You could just look after these black people. Don't worry about anything. We do this for 2 years. You're going to get a promotion. And you could actually point to situations like that in the TA.
Oh, really?
You could actually, in this particular department I'm talking about,
okay,
you could actually point to the situations and be like, yo, this is how you guys don't see this.
It's funny. I can kind of see it because in my department there are a couple people who just real quick, and it's like, yo, how did you get that far that quick? You know what I mean? It's a lot of nepotism, a lot of cronyism, and we're just like, okay. So I always say it's like who he got pictures of, or what kind of dirt you got on this person? Because it's like, nah, there's no way.
Those jokes.
There's no way that you get that far that quick without something going on, some funny style, as we say in trap.
I mean, what was crazy, you can't be mad at them for looking out for them. You know what I'm saying? We don't do enough looking out for us. Yeah. For each other. I don't really care what color you are. If you show the aptitude to do the job, then the job is yours. Let it be yours, right? Yeah. But when you bypassing qualified people because they're your friend or because they're white or whatever, I have an issue with that. I have an issue with that. So the MTA definitely have a lot of that. A lot.
Now, do you think it's possible for that thing to change? For that type of culture to change? Because I'm a parallel it with the NFL again. It's like I honestly, as noble as Brian Flores' lawsuit is, can you really change the hearts and the minds of the owners? Because they're the culprits, in my opinion. The owners are the culprits. They're the ones who gatekeep those kind of things because they hire who they want. You know what I'm saying? They hire the general managers hire the coach, but they're ultimately hiring who they want. Now, unless you change the hearts and the minds of those people because it's affecting their bottom line, can you really change it? With the MTA, do you put a black person in the chairman position who came literally from the rank and file like you and me all the way up?
I'm glad you brought that up because that's another major issue with the MTA. I always say this, the MTA will hire a hockey coach to coach a basketball team only because they're a coach, right? They have too many people in this agency that don't understand the transportation business, right? They got people that don't know our jobs. A lot of people don't go through the ranks and make it to the top. And the ones who do make it to the top that went through the ranks, they don't sympathize or empathize with the people who's still in the mud because they be like, I made it, you should be able to make it too. And I went through way worse stuff than you did. Instead of trying to make the job right. But do I think that the MTA can change, right? So I believe in something called 5 R's. So the 5 R's is and this is me being an activist, right? You got riot, you got revolt, you got rebellion, you got reformation, and you got revolution, right? Everything for most people stop at reform. We're going to reform this, we're going to reform that. But it don't stop at reform. In order to knock down these walls and knock down these barriers, you have to revolutionize, right? Reformation don't do nothing. The only thing is say, hey, look, you're going to sit over here. You're going to sit over here. Tramell go sit down there. And we reform the place. Nah, revolution is we go flip this table over. We're going to get rid of everyone here.
We're going to get a new
We're
table.
going to change everything. We're going to bring more people to the table. And we're going to create a real culture here, right? So do I think the MTA will change? No, because you will have one person that want to change, want to create change. But then you will have, like, let's use the MTA president, right? And I'm not using this as an exact, model or anything like that. But let's just say he wanted change. I want change. I want change. I want to change the culture here. Now, he's the president. Now, he got his vice presidents up under him. Let's say he got 5 vice presidents up under him. 3 of them, 4 of them don't want change. How he go create that change? They gonna undermine him every chance they get because he too high up to micromanage everything that's going on in those departments.
I was gonna say, not to cut you off, it's more like, you know how like every time we elect the president and something goes wrong, it's the first thing is to blame the president for not making certain things. Try to understand, he can only give out things. That's what the Senate and the House is for.
Right. Okay. Right.
So every time when you want a new law, something that should have been done, it has to go through the Senate and the House. The president may want it, but he's just the face.
Now, picture
you have to go through the neck and the whole torso. You can't just be mad at the face because the face don't know what the legs are doing at the time.
That's true.
now using that analogy, right? There's no House and Senate.
MTA.
It's not. It's like what we say, where we go, and everybody got their own thing. All the vice presidents got their own thing, and the people up under, like the vice presidents in the TA, is disconnected from what's going on in the actual field with the superintendent. It's so much.
It's like
it's so much confusion there,
like
right?
The top pyramid may want change, but if his third and second half don't want to do it,
He gonna be undermined. I don't care who you are. You're not bigger than the program.
That's
the
true.
program is bigger than you. So if this individual is not bigger than the program, then we got to change the program, right? We got to change the program. And changing the program is changing the culture, and changing the culture is revolutionizing it, right? And I told the MTA this personally. I said, look, you guys, y'all don't have to listen to me, right? But the union isn't doing their job, and what's going to happen is that y'all not listening to me. Y'all go get into the game late because I'm going to continue to embarrass y'all every chance y'all get. Y'all not going to understand. What is Tramell talking about? Why the union ain't coming to us telling anything? Oh, y'all didn't want to listen to me because I'm not an elected rep. Right? That's cool. I'm going to continue doing my work. I'm going to continue being in the media. I'm going to continue being in you guys' faces. And we're going to get this change. We're going to win. I'm not going to stop. I'm willing to get fired. It's just like you can't stop a suicide bomber.
If he's already wanting to be a suicide bomber,
you cannot stop him. If a man want to go into a building and say he's going to blow it up
with him in it, you kind of already lost that.
You're not going to stop him. I'm willing to get fired for this, right? When I do my activism outside of transit, I'm willing to die for this, right? I'm not saying that I'm gonna go in there and make it easy for them. You're gonna have to. This gonna be a fight. I'm willing to die. If you choking me out, I ain't gonna say I give up.
In the words of my mom, you gonna have to earn this.
I mean, and just thinking about like what I had to pull off the other day. I had to buy. Now I'm not at work right now because I got assaulted.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that in a second.
I got assaulted, right? Now, MTA managers keep asking me, when you coming back to work? When you coming back to work? Every other week, there's a shooting, there's a stabbing, there's something going on.
Someone getting
You know what I
pushed
did the other
in
day? I went to buy a bulletproof vest.
Right?
I went to buy a bulletproof vest because we was talking earlier in the show, being reactive instead of proactive. This vest, now you could get shot anywhere. but I'm not gonna make it easy for them. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not gonna happen at work. God damn, I'd be shot at work. You know what I mean?
It's
you don't
it's a
know.
matter of time.
Yeah.
There was 9 shootings within the past year on
Yeah.
MTA property.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
You
And bullets
insane.
don't have no names.
That's
They
insane.
just go through.
We that scene, I don't know if you remember this on the platform in Queens. There was a fight on the platform. The conductor went on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Homeboy pulled out a gun and shot the other dude in the head.
I think it was a 52nd Street on
No,
the
no, no.
7.
It was on the set.
It was on the
Probably,
7,
probably
yeah,
didn't
I remember
that. Right?
that.
Who was to say homeboy won't start shooting everybody?
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Nobody didn't think that a train operator was going to die because of a shop and caught fire. Right? Nobody
Right.
didn't think that.
Right.
But I'd rather stay ready than having to get ready. So now I'm taking a whole bunch of transit workers. We're going to buy us some bulletproof vests.
I mean,
Because I don't feel
yeah.
I don't feel safe with the uniform on. I feel more safe traveling the system in plain clothes
Mm-hmm.
than in the uniform. That uniform,
It's a target now.
it's a target. You wear that MTA patch, it is a target.
yeah. 'Cause a lot of people, it's like they get mad at it. It's like
And they
it's your
get mad at us for exactly.
Yeah.
They get mad at stuff that we not in control of. We
Right.
not in control of the service. We that's
Right.
control the machines. Right? We don't say that this bus, we cutting service on this bus line, or the headway on this train is gonna be 10 minutes instead of 5, or we're going to skip these stops. We don't control any of that.
Right.
Yeah, I just get the call. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
gotta
Call
do
and,
it.
and execute. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Sometimes they don't even tell us that we are taking an alternate route. Sometimes the train operator get to the switch, and your train operator hits you like, partner, they giving us an express lineup. We're supposed to go local. Well, why they didn't tell us before I left the station? So now I'm saying, excuse me, passengers, we're making express stops. Why didn't you tell me that we was doing it? Now I'm a target, right? That some people don't want to hear, I'm sorry, right? Just like how we have to stay on schedule, our trains run on schedule, these people are on a schedule too,
Mhm.
right? But they don't, I mean, we got a lot of work to do on the TA, man.
And okay, so couple things real quick. So what it sounds like is there's a disconnect everywhere. You know what I mean? Between management and the employees, and then between the employees and the public. The public who we, are supposed to be serving. You know what I mean? I feel like the public's anger, as we just described, is misdirected at us, and it further deteriorates the relationship between us and management. So, not to even when you look at the contract negotiations, sometimes and they do this everywhere. Even look at MLB, they're having a lockout right now. So what they do is they'll negotiate through the media, they'll negotiate through the public, trying to win the public over to their side and say like, hey, these guys are being greedy, or these guys are asking for too much. So who do you think it's more important to get on the same page with the management or the same page with the public? And then also, you're going to tell us about your assault, because I know we're running out of time, but can you tell us about your assault and how it actually made you, what it did to you, like how it affected you?
Yeah, that's a good question. But let's talk about the the first question was the
Which side would I think?
oh yeah, all right. So
Do you want to get public or
Yeah,
you want to do management? I
well,
think that was
the-
a lot.
the
There was a lot in
public-
that
the-
question.
see, the union, this is one thing that I've been doing lately, making us allies with the public, right? The union failed to make us allies with the public. There's 40,000 members in TW Local 100, right? 5 to 8 million people before the pandemic was riding the subways. They could be an extension of our union, right? Because the MTA, they smart. What do they do to turn the public against us? Whenever it's time for us to get a contract, what the MTA do? Oh, we got to raise fares. So what the passengers say, we're paying for your salary, you're getting a raise on the backs of us. They create that animosity. And there's nothing there to say, no, that's not what the situation is, right?
There's no representative to be like.
The MTA thrive on, and they don't have to say, of course they would never say that's what it is. The MTA thrive on the public and the workers being at odds with each other. They actually created this environment. So as far as my assault, how do I feel? I got spit on, right?
Oh,
I would rather get punched, right? I would rather get smacked,
stabbed.
right? I would rather get stabbed, right? That's one of the, I'd rather get shot at and miss, of course, right? But
I'll think about that one.
But the thing is, they think that in our communities, that's the utmost disrespect that you could do to someone, right? The MTA think that you're supposed to shake that off.
Oh no.
They think that oh, you could be back to work in 2-3 months. I've been out of work. This happened to me last March. I've been out of work almost a year, right? They don't understand the anger that it could, like, I'm angry.
That came with that.
I'm angry. Like, I wake up angry, mad. Like, if I see this guy, I'm gonna do something to him. You know what I'm saying? When I'm on the subways, I'm alert. Like, if I see him, I don't know how I'm gonna react, right?
And I'm looking for him.
And this ain't my first time.
First time getting spit on, or first time getting assaulted?
I got spit on probation.
Oh no!
Right? But I was afraid because of the whole school card thing. Right? I really wanted this job. Right? I couldn't take 2. Now, matter of fact, I'll tell you what. This is my 3rd time getting assaulted. The 2nd time was some kids threw a plastic bottle and an apple at me, and it hit me. But I never called it in because I was a kid at one time throwing snow at the conductors. Right? Never throwing no fruit or nothing like that, but I threw stuff at the conductors, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, those kids, I ain't gonna get them in trouble. It wasn't nothing crazy anyway. I laughed it off. Like, I was upset. Dude hit me in my head, right in my shield.
They probably laughed.
So,
they probably laughed it off. Like,
yeah, I mean, I was like, they kids. You know what I'm saying?
It's New York City thing.
But a grown person spitting on me, nah, man, not at all. And then the first person that spit on me, he spit on me while my train was leaving the station. He spit on me and called me the N-word. I held on to that, right? But this last time, it's like, yo, I couldn't believe it. I literally couldn't believe it. And to this day, like, I still can't believe it because I always thought to myself, if that happens to me, I'm gonna kill somebody. Right? I didn't even I'm mad at myself. I didn't react the way I thought I was gonna react. I was just such in shock. Right? But I wake up angry, not happy, in a bad place, right? But I do this work. I gotta do stuff to constantly keep me busy because when I think about, damn, why am I not at work? Oh, I'm upset. Man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not in a space right now where I could come back and be a productive employee like I was prior, right? And I'm not gonna let them force me back or rush me back and say, oh, you've been out a year, you should just, I'm coming back when I feel comfortable to come back when I feel that I'm not as angry, when I could be a productive employee because I'm gonna cost the MTA a lot of money the next time that happens. You know what I'm saying? They go get sued big time.
Something's gonna happen. I guarantee.
And that's not gonna happen again, right? I don't care. They do it. I'm leaving the station, pulling the cord. I'm keying myself off, and it's going all the way down, right? And I don't want to, like. That's how I feel right now. I may not feel like that when I get over this, right? Because it's not like I got assaulted and the life is wonderful. I'm seeing these shootings. I'm seeing these stabbings. I'm seeing how the couple of months ago, a conductor got shot in the face with a BB gun.
Oh yeah.
Nobody said nothing. I'm the one who got that into the news, not the union, not the MTA. They try to brush it up under the rug, right? I told that conductor, yo, we going to the MTA board meeting. Bring me your bloody shirt. I went in front of those people and hung up that man bloody shirt and said, yo, y'all say that this is safe? So every time I hear a new incident, it's like PTSD for me. Like, you think I'm going to purposely put myself back in this fire? Show me that it's going to be safe. The other day, the MTA CEO said, yeah, we're going to be doing something different. We're going to have the police officers be on the platforms in the trains. Well, what the hell y'all was doing before?
It was just flying by the seat of their pants.
What was y'all doing before? I thought that was the protocol. They supposed to be on the platforms in the trains. He said, we're going to be doing something new. Listen, I'm not coming back until y'all show me that it's safe because I don't feel safe. Every week there's something new, right? And I'm not gonna be their cannon fodder. I'm not gonna be just that number. This number that they don't care about, I'm a father, I'm a friend, I'm a family member. You know what I'm saying? I have a family that love me
And depends on you.
and depend on me, right?
Mhm.
So nah, I'm not doing that. They good because they create all this animosity when they ride the subways. They don't wear the patch.
No.
They in plain clothes. And
Because,
the ones who going out there saying that we safe, he
They
got
don't.
armed security.
Mhm.
He got armed security. He probably not even on the subway to begin with.
I call them casual riders. We are everyday riders. We work the system,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
They don't even they not even transit workers,
Yeah.
right? So what they read in these books and what we actually experience is two totally different things.
Completely.
And they say real quick, because I know we gotta leave. They say crime is down. Crime is down.
Y'all know more than me at the time.
Look, they say crime is down, crime is down, crime is down. They play this game within the precincts where something that should be a felony, they classify it as a misdemeanor.
Really?
Yeah, that's so that the commanding officers, when it's time for them to move up, they can move up easily because it shows that they got crime under control.
Mhm.
If you got all these felonies in your precinct versus misdemeanors, nah, you ain't doing a good job
you
with
ain't doing
public
nothing.
safety.
Right.
But if you got misdemeanors and a little bit of felonies, then it looks a
It
little
looks
better,
better.
right?
It
But
looks
they
better.
say they would say, yeah, crime is down. Look at the data. Forget the data. I go on the subway every day and see an EDP acting crazy
Yeah, it's gotten so out of
Every day.
control.
Oh no, I know.
Out of control.
every day,
bro.
right? Every time I ride the subway, I run into an EDP, and the EDP assaulted me,
Mhm.
right? I seen in his eyes that he ain't have it all, right? But yeah, we here. We go continue doing the work. It ain't gonna stop.
All right. Last couple things. I got one of my coworkers. Shout out to Marcel Bennett. He wanted me to ask you a couple questions. I'm guessing that he figured that you would eventually run for union office.
Mhm.
So number one of the questions was, if you run for office, what's the one thing you think you can accomplish that would be substantial for the members? And I have two more after that.
I can't narrow it down to one thing, but one thing that I think that I could bring is the respect back to transit workers on all levels. And that respect will garner us higher wages, better health care, better work rules, and respect.
Okay, I agree there, especially hazard pay. What is it like being public enemy number one for the MTA?
It's no better title, man. I'm doing this for the people. A lot of people they hate and say, "Oh, he doing this for himself." If you look at the history of Tramell Thompson was fighting for things that didn't affect him. I didn't get affected for the things I was fighting until they started with the detectives meeting me at work and things like that. It's a beautiful thing. I'm doing something good. I could be doing bad things. I could be running the streets, right?
Good trouble. Call it good trouble.
Yeah.
Last question. After all these videos on management, have you noticed any changes?
Yes.
What kind? Can you name maybe? What's the biggest change that you've seen?
They give us a little bit more respect, right? They listen to the average worker. Before, they used to only just deal with the union. Now when members got problems, I give them emails. Some members be like, "Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, I don't want to. Can you email?" No. This is your issue. You email this person. CC me. Just CC me in the email so they can see that I'm watching. So they know not to. So they know not to mess with you. Play with you around. But I've been seeing little things. You know what I'm saying? And like my boy Chris Gotti told me, Irv Gotti brother, oatmeal is better than no meal.
That's true.
Right? So we getting oatmeal right now, and things is moving. Not as fast as I would like it, but things are moving.
There's so many sayings in this episode.
Dropping gems today, bro.
Yeah,
I gotta pick one.
but like with the work that I'm doing outside of here, I'm with some powerful guys, powerful organizations, and they love what I do in New York City Transit, and they want to help me whichever way that they can from this position. But yeah, but before we go, y'all see the Rip It Up shirt. We on the side of anti-mandate, pro-choice. We don't subscribe to segregation passes. We are supporting freedom, choice. And this is America. And like y'all know my motto, normally I have a if y'all see my Progressive Action hat, a shirt, I got a fist. People think that it's a black fist, but it's stand for the 5 freedoms: freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to assemble, and the right to petition the government. This is our power. This is our weapon, and we're going to do it for America, and we're going to do it for the Transit Authority too.
And so, Tay, you have anything you want to say before?
Now,
we
what was
close?
that? What was the 5 R's again? I think I missed one.
Riot,
Riot,
revolt, rebellion.
rebellion.
Yeah.
I got riot,
Reformation, revolution.
Because I got reparation, revolution, riot, and revolt. I was
Yeah,
like, what
but
was
it's
the
in, but it's in order. Normally, when you actually see something happen in America, what's the first thing people do?
Revolt and
no,
riots.
Riot,
Right?
revolt.
Start
Then
rioting
they wrote
again.
revolt.
Then
They
and
stop. It start getting murkier. You start losing people
Mhm.
between revolt and rebel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And normally, the system stop at reformation. They think that's the answer, but the true answer is revolution.
That's right. What's next for Progressive Action? You got anything lined up and anything you want to say and give advice to anybody who might be dealing with something work related? Or first of all, start with the Progressive Action. What kind of events you got coming up? What kind of things you got going on with the movement and things? Anybody who want to join in?
Right now, like I said, I'm on this mandate thing. I will be in California March 5th. I just came back from Texas. I'm traveling across the country, doing that work. As far as Progressive Action in Transit, I still do my weekly show. It's easy to get in contact with me, progressiveaction100@gmail.com. I got people checking that email for me. I check it myself also. You can hit me I'm mostly on Facebook Messenger under my name, Tramell Thompson. Progressive Action TV, subscribe to Progressive Action TV, please. That's where we give out all of our information. And I would like to thank you guys, man. Like, I've been getting interviewed a lot lately, but it's good to be with the brothers, man.
Look, this is what me and him figured out is that this is our voice and this is our platform. We may not necessarily be on the front lines like you, but we figured that if we can put people who are on the front lines on our platform, they can still figure out a way to get their message out. You know what I mean? At least that's the way I thought about it. So
I'm never against silencing anybody.
like,
I'm always, as a model, before we end this, as a model for myself, never believe one side of the story.
exactly.
There's a story, there's 2 sides. Just because they call someone the hero don't mean that the villain don't got a story.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
So always hear both sides before you ever make a decision on anything.
That's a fact.
And I'm actually thankful that you actually took the time to come out and chat with us, because I was afraid. I was not even gonna lie, because we had Chisel the Dinosaur on this on the show before, and I didn't think that he would get back to me. I knew you would, but I was still like a little hesitant because I'm like, okay, he may not, he might be
This
too
man has
busy.
no faith in himself.
Look, listen, I'm just learning to shoot my shot as time goes along. all right?
show gonna go.
Definitely busy, but
This show gonna go regardless. Nothing against anybody else.
I mean, I'm here. I'm here, man. I'm here.
Thank you for coming, bro. We appreciate it. We might have you on the show again in the future. Maybe an update of how things go along. Hopefully, things will be better by the time, we have you on the show again.
Fight continues, man.
Fight always going to
Fight
continue
continue
to the death, right?
to the death.
All right. With that, we say peace.
We dying? Hold on.
God bless everyone.
All right, peace.
This is-
All right, yeah, I gotta get up out of here.
All right, brother. We know you got to run.